I used to get bullied and picked on a lot when I was in high school and middle school and even elementary school a little bit. And I don't know if I would even call it bullying though. It was more like it wasn't like some big Chad football player who I didn't really know walking by and pushing me into a locker, giving me a swirly and getting poo on my face. It was more like friends that I had. It was always my groups of friends kind of made me the butt end of their jokes, and they trolled me a lot and liked to play pranks on me and like ditch me and do things like that. And that's kind of the saddest part about it, is because it was always like my friends treated me like that, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I never had any other friends. I didn't know how to stand up to these people. I didn't know how to tell them, like, guys, that wasn't cool. I didn't know how to go my own way. So I just put up with that for like 10 plus years from being a kid. I remember there was this time specifically, they used to do this thing where they would ditch me. They would say like, hey, we're all going to meet at the skate park tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then secretly they would like leave me out, and they would tell everybody, don't actually go. We're actually going to go over here or whatever. And then I would show up, and then the next day at school, they would be like, ho, that was pretty funny, right? And I would be like, of course, at the time, I didn't have the balls to be like, no, guys, like, fuck you. I was always like, yeah, I don't know, kind of funny. And I just put up with it forever and ever. And specifically, there was this time, I think I was transitioning into high school. It was maybe like the summer between middle school and high school. You know, when like kids are starting to kind of dabble into like drugs and alcohol and weed and cigarettes and stuff like that. You're starting to maybe mix in with the older kids a little bit. And I remember there were these older skater kids around, because that's what we would do all the time. We'd go skating around town. We'd just pick a spot, go there at like 2 p.m. the next day. We'd meet there, and then we'd like, go hop from 7-Eleven to 7-Eleven, grab some Gatorades or whatever, and then or Arizona iced tea, and then we would skate around the town or whatever. So at that time, a lot of the older kids were starting to like take our crew under their wing a little bit, like, hey guys, and let's go smoke some cigarettes or let's smoke some weed or whatever. And, I just hated it. Of course, I thought it was stupid. And my friends were really desperate for the validation of the older guys. So of course, they always took the side of the older cool guys instead of me. And there was this time specifically when we were like, oh, we're all going to go skate with like the older skate crew, like the cool guys or whatever. We're meeting tomorrow at the 7-Eleven on Main at 2 p.m. or whatever. And so I was like, all right, sick, I'll be there. And of course, I go out, skate up there by myself, get my skateboard, this is part of why I got bullied, my helmet. I put my helmet on, which my mom made me wear my helmet at the time. Looking back, that's a large reason of why I was getting bullied all the time, because my mom had so much control over me. Of course she did it because she loved me, but it wasn't exactly what a young boy needed. So I would go out with my helmet on, and I skated all the way up to 7-Eleven, like over a mile from my house on my own. I get there. Of course, nobody shows up yet. I'm telling myself, okay, they're just running late. They're on their way. They're just running late. And I wait there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I had a cell phone. I just got a cell phone at the time, I think. I was calling them, texting them. Nobody's responding. And eventually I get a voice message on my phone. And it was from one of my friends, actually. So I was, oh, here he is. Something happened. He's running late, whatever. It's like a voice message from like my best friend at the time. And I listened to the voice message, and it's not my friend talking. It's one of these older guys. There's this dude named Anthony. And I don't know why I said his name. If for some reason Anthony sees this, no hard feelings now, we were kids, whatever. But he was like, fuck off, Jimmy. We don't like you. Suck my dick. Or something like that. Like, lick my balls. Something like that. And it was sent to me from my friend's phone. So this older kid saw that I was blowing up my friends, saying, hey, guys, where are you? And he took my friend's phone, recorded a voice message on it, and then, like, talked shit to me and said, suck my dick or whatever, and then sent it back to me. And of course I was just like, my world was destroyed. I was so sad. And I skated all the way home, all the way back to my mom's house, went up into my room. I'll never forget this. I went up into my room, and I had a mixed CD, like a burnt CD that I made off of like iTunes or whatever, made like one of those little burnt CDs. And I put it into my stereo. I had a stereo at the time. I had all these mixed CDs. I had some badass mixed CD collection, by the way. But anyways, and I literally, like a movie, I started playing, I played the song, I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan, I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. All right. And I laid down in my bed. I remember it's like whatever, 3 p.m. in the middle of summer, and I laid down in my bed and I just played that song on repeat and was just like listening to it. Like, I hate my life. I hate my friends, but I don't know how to tell them that I don't like what they're doing. I don't know how to find new friends. I've already gone down this road where I've been friends with these guys for like 5 or 6 years, and I don't know how to restart. And I was just like, the world hates me. Life sucks. I don't know why I'm even doing this. And anyways, of course, my mom came into my room and was like, what's going on here? I thought you were supposed to be out with your boys skating. And I told her what happened, and my mom handled it in the way that a mom does, but unfortunately isn't really what a young man like that I think needs. She was like, I'm gonna go find those guys, and gets in her car and drives around town like looking for these guys. And I think she like didn't find them, and then she went to one of my friend's houses and like yelled at my friend's parents or something like that. And then of course what happens the next day, I go to school, my friends are all just roasting me more and laughing at me more because my friend went out. And I remember, of course, I was telling my mom, like, you can't go. No, don't, Mom, don't go. Don't go yell at my friend's parents. Don't go yell at my friends. They're just going to make fun of me more. And my mom didn't care, and she didn't understand that. She just saw her son hurting, so she wanted to go help out, and she did it. But that's exactly kind of what made me the victim type, what made me susceptible to bullying all the time. So, of course, I went to school the next day, and then I just get roasted by everyone so much. Oh, dude, you went home and you told your mom, and your mom came after us, bro? Like, what a wimp. And, yeah, and that's basically how I live my life, man. And I remember thinking once I got into high school, I grew up a little bit. I got more into sports, and then, of course, I tried to join other crews. I got into the baseball guys' friends group. And, they were kind of cool, but they would roast me for being a skater. And then my skater friends were like, dude, oh, you think you're a jock now? And everybody would always talk shit. Like, every time I tried to move around, and then I would get into a new group, and I really wouldn't be myself completely. And people would be poking fun of me and stuff like that. And because of my aura, because I was such a mommy's boy for so long, people, bullies, they're incredibly good at finding victims and finding people to bully. Because you got to think, if you're a hurt person who wants to bully people and wants to put people down to make you feel better, it's not something that you just turn off for 30 minutes of the day and look around and decide to be mean. That is the life that you're living, because it makes you feel better to put people down. So you're spending your entire life living 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, looking for victims and looking for people that you can pick on and people that will accept it and let you bully them more. So anyways, I know that I was getting bullied because it was my fault. And I put out this energy that I could just get bullied all the time, and I let people do it. And when they would talk shit about me, or they say, suck my dick, we don't like you, I wouldn't even stand up to them. I would just be like, oh, haha, okay, haha, that's funny, whatever. And I would just let them do it. Looking back, it's very sad, but I wouldn't be the man that I am today without going through all of that. So, yeah, getting on to the point here, I went through so many different friend groups from high school I got into the music scene, and, primarily after high school, my friends were all in the music scene and bands, and I just felt like I never really met my people. Even getting into the music scene and learning a little bit more how to be myself, it was still a very superficial interest that I had. Just, I'm just interested in this type of music. I'm interested in punk music. I'm interested in metal music. And I was never really honest with people about my true worldview, anything related to like my mentality, mental health, politics, my philosophy, any of that stuff. And at the same time, nobody really understood me. And I was always getting upset about it. I was like, nobody exists in this entire world that understands me. But what happens now, I move out to Japan, I start making videos on YouTube where I'm kind of talking my mind. At first, of course, I was mostly talking about Japan stuff. I was like, hey, I moved out to Japan, I'm going to make YouTube videos. I got to be the Japan guy, because that's what everybody does. You can move out to Japan and you start vlogging about Japan, and oh my gosh, look at the 7-Eleven chicken or whatever. So I was doing a little bit of that, and most of the people that I drew to my channel and that I drew to me were interested in talking about Japan. And honestly, although of course, like, I'm interested in Japan, I love it, I live here, it's not talking about Japan and Japanese music and Japanese culture. Like, it's not really tied to me in any really emotional way too much. It's not my life. It's not really my interest so much. But of course, that's what I was talking about. And I drew a lot of people to the channel who met me through the YouTube, who were like, oh, this guy's going to be my boy because we both love Japan. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not like, Japan isn't really my thing so much. And of course, I met some nice people and, you know, maybe they're still in my life, but I never really felt like I was hitting it off with anybody. And then I started changing it up on my channel. You know, I'm going to start talking about my philosophy a little bit more, mindset, sometimes politics. I did the video where I talked about like Charlie Kirk, of course, which of course I was like, oh, dude, people are going to hate me for posting this video, but I feel like I just have to be honest. I have to put myself out there. And through that and being more honest on my channel, the first time maybe in my entire life that I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm actually finally meeting people in this world who actually understand me, who actually relate to me, because I'm talking about my true opinions, the things that I'm afraid to share, and most people are afraid to share. You might only put these opinions out there with your absolute closest friends after you've vetted them for years and years and years. Anyways, I've made probably 3 or 4 of the best friends that I've ever made in my entire life just in the last year and a half through the YouTube, through talking about, not talking about Japan, but the videos where I'm talking about like my worldview, my mindset, my philosophy, my passions, self-improvement. And I always meet these people. You know, in the past, I would meet people who were like, oh, dude, you're the Japan guy. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then we talk about like Japanese language a little bit, or like what's it like to live in Japan. And it's, you know, it's fine, whatever. It's an interest of mine. I live here, of course, but it's not what really makes me tick. And then I've met people also. I met like 3 or 4 of my best friends now. And when they said, and I met them through YouTube. And when I met them, they were like, dude, I loved this video. This is the video that I remember the most. This is the video why I wanted to meet you or whatever. And it was always something that was deeper, something about my mindset, something about like my view on the world or something like that. My philosophy, bro. Like, who am I? My philosophy. This is my philosophy, guys. Welcome to class. But those are the best friends that I've made, some of the best friends that I've made in my entire life. So kind of a whole long, obnoxious story to tell you that, and to tell myself as well, if you're thinking nobody understands you, nobody gets you, there's nobody else in this world who will ever really be able to connect with you, maybe that's not totally true, and maybe that's your fault. And I'm not saying that it's your fault. Dude, these crows are so fucking loud. Holy shit. I'm not saying that that's your fault in terms of like, you suck, nobody wants to ever be your friend. I'm saying that you're probably just not putting yourself out there enough. You're not. So it's like what I'm doing is I feel like I've been hiding in a bush my entire life, not talking to anybody, not saying, hey guys, here I am, and then expecting people to find me and being upset that people don't find me. It's like, why doesn't anybody find me? Why am I not making any good friends when I've just been wearing a disguise and hiding behind a bush in my entire life? And now I'm out here being like, all right, guys, here I am. This is me. This is what I believe. Of course, a lot of people aren't going to like it, but this is what I believe. Take it or leave it. And, you know, of course, a lot of people haven't liked me, but way more people have been like, yo, I found my person. I found my tribe. I found my people. Here I am, dude. I agree with you. Oh my gosh, where have you been? And I'm saying the same thing, like, dude, where have you been? And these friends that you make through being honest and truly being yourself around people are the types of friends that will actually go to bat for you when the chips are down. And you think about your old friends and the friends that you were afraid to change up on. You were afraid to leave because they were going to talk shit about you if you left. And you're like, how loyal were those friends anyway? How loyal were those people going to be if I actually wanted to be myself more, if I actually gave them an opposing opinion or something like that? Odds are probably not. So the relationships that you get through being more serious or being more yourself are going to be much more rewarding, and those people are going to be way more loyal to you. So you got to put yourself out there. And this could be anything from in your office setting, in your local social circle, on your softball team, on your soccer team. Just speaking your mind a little bit more, making it a point to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more real with people, not always avoid the difficult conversations. Or if you're some type of creator, it could be that. It could be maybe you need to be more honest in your content creation. Like I said, I've met some of the best friends that I've had in my entire life through just being on YouTube and being a little bit more honest here and there. So something to think about. Also, kind of another point that wasn't really supposed to be the point of this video, but there are, if for some reason, I don't think any moms are watching this video right now, but if you are a mom watching this video, you're great for what you do, and it's wonderful that you show a lot of love to your sons by wanting to protect them, but sons need guidance, but also room to act on their own and learn on their own and stand up for themselves. They don't need someone who is going to watch over them and protect them at all times. And that kind of really screwed me up with both my parents. One, they were really, really kind of too strict, and I could never stand up for myself to them, or propose any counter opinions to my parents. And also, they were so in my business and all over me all the time that if anything bad ever happened, if I ever got bullied, they would say, "Jim, stay at home, we got this." And they would go talk to somebody. They would get in fights with my teachers. They would get in fights with my sports coaches. They would be yelling at my friends. And they never gave me the opportunity to defend myself. And then I never learned how to do it until I was old. And I'm trying to figure it out as an adult. So I don't know, just a couple things that have been on my mind today, guys. Thank you for watching. yungjamesYT@gmail.com.